Right then guys, what's going on? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I know the weather is pretty shit at the moment in England, but I've just had a very exciting email which has lightened my day up. So although the weather is very, very bad, and if you've been watching the channel over the past couple of weeks, you will know that everything I'm going about in the videos is the big plans coming up for summer, what's going on, and you're probably thinking, Jake, you just keep chatting a lot of rubbish, mate. But the email this morning was basically the final arrangements for the Scotland 500 ride around Scotland trip off the gentleman who's organised it. So there's 13 riders in total, including me. He got an email basically telling me over the 4 days, so we're going over the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th of May, about hotel arrangements, where we'll be travelling, what we'll be doing. But I need to organise my solo trip because the 13 riders that are going are setting off on the Friday morning of the 3rd of May. I am working that day, so unfortunately I will not be able to set off with them. So the way my work works and to get the days off to be able to go, I'm very fortunate. I have a very generous boss who's managed to get the days off for me. So I will be riding up on the Saturday morning and meeting the rest of the guys at the hotel at the Cross Keys. So I've got the route up online here. So basically what I need to do is plan my own route for the Saturday morning. So hopefully, I don't know my rota is yet for the week, but hopefully I am working the Friday morning. Reason being that I've got time for the rest of the day. I don't have to come home. I can go to bed early. I can have a nice rest because I will be up. Let's have a look. I will be up at 5 o'clock on Saturday morning, which for some of you might not be early. But I'm setting off from Halifax, which is where I live. I won't put my address on here, obviously. So I'm setting off from Halifax in West Yorkshire, and the first hotel stop where they're staying is the Cross Keys. Now when they go on the Friday, they'll obviously have a nicer route up than me, because I've got to get there quite fast, but their first day will be probably through the Yorkshire Dales. They probably might stop off over in Morecambe or anywhere like that, you know, just some nice sights. But yeah, for me it's literally going to be getting up at 5, maybe having some breakfast, then setting off at 6 with my lovely clear visor on, and I'll be heading up the A1 by the look of it. So my first journey in that morning will be, if I have a little drag here, that will be 2 hours and 12 minutes, I do believe. 2 hours and 12 minutes to get to the Cross Keys, which is a nice little hotel. So that's day 1, so that's the morning. I think I'll be having breakfast with them, so it'll be like my dinner time really. I'll be meeting them there. They'll all pack their stuff up, and then we'll go ahead and get going. Now the road I've put in on Google Maps is just straight up A roads, but obviously when you're going on a motorcycle trip, they've got you know, like I say, they've got big adventure bikes. They've got stuff that'll have the GPS on. It'll take you the lovely curvy roads, the big back roads. So it says it'll take us about 3 hours 57 minutes to get to the next hotel, which is quite a ride. That it's from the Yorkshire Dales in the North Pennines all up to the Tormakin Hotel, which is past Edinburgh, past Glasgow, past Dumfries, Lockerbie, and it's basically just right next to Stirling, if you never know that. Like I say, I've got it on the map here. I have done this trip before. I did it last year on the Duke. But last year when I did do it on the Baby Duke, it is when I first got it. So I got my bike in February last year. February, March, April, and then the start of May. So I didn't have a lot of money to put into like the bike for touring. I wanted to get the mods done, such as like wing mirrors and screens and just exhausts and stuff like that. So I'm really saving up for all sorts of stuff like that. So last year, you know, I had minimal gear. My helmet wasn't very comfortable. It was a good helmet, don't get me wrong, it was very uncomfortable. I had my earphones in for directions, again very uncomfortable. I only was living out of my backpack for 4 days because I couldn't afford any luggage or out. But there was a part of it, the rustic part, which was kind of the exciting part about it. But this year I managed to, I knew I was doing it again. So I've saved up for like a tank bag and all sorts of stuff. I'll be doing a second part to the series for this. My touring setup, because I've got all sorts of stuff. I had some arrive this morning for the bike, so hopefully this year we're going to be doing a lot more comfort, and it's just going to be a better experience. But like I said, last year wasn't horrendous. I will never forget my first ever bike tour. Absolutely brilliant. Seen some amazing sights. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So like I said, first day we're setting off, 2 hours 12 minutes, early in the morning. Don't think I'll need a fuel stop. My bike's capable of about 180 mile if I'm riding it up an A road. That's only 91 mile or so. Set off. Second day, probably flying right through the nice twisties all the way up there. Tormakin Hotel, that's where I stayed last year. Lovely hotel. I'll try to show like around these hotels on the tour. Third day, we come back down on the Sunday. Again, probably different roads. Back down to the Cross Keys again. And then on the Monday, we head down, and I'll be heading down with the guys probably the way they came, because like I say, I'll be shooting up the A roads. Back down to, and then we'll all split off. We'll probably stop off at Devil's Bridge like we did last year, and then all head off in as different directions. So yeah, that's the Scotland tour. It's not a small tour, but it's not as big as last year. Last year we went up, and I do believe last year was a big ride on the first day. We went from Halifax all the way up to the Tormakin Hotel on a first night, so that is a good five-hour drive through a lot of stuff. So we went to we stopped off at I think it was the cafe where I went on my video the other day. I can't remember what it's called, some Manor Farm Cafe. Stopped off there, then absolutely smashed some miles in all the way up to the hotel. Second day, we then went up to the Isle of Skye, which if you look's quite a distance, all the way up to the Kyle of Loxash, which I probably reckon I'll be able to see the hotel. Balcamara, there you go. So we stayed here on the second night. Third night, we went round the Isle of Skye and stayed back at Balcamara again. And then on the third day, we went down to Moffat, which I'm not sure how far down that is actually. Let's have a look. Moffat. Dumfries. Moffat. Oh, so it's passed through. So that's where we stayed on the other night. And then we came back down, stopped at Devil's Bridge, and then we came back home. So hopefully this year is going to be a brilliant one. Hopefully it's going to be an eventful one. And like you say, I'm going to take my, because I've got the luggage available, I'll be able to take my computer with me and my chargers and all sorts of my GoPros. So I'll be able to hopefully make some really good videos out of that. And like I said, I've got the TT as well, so we're going over the Isle of Man, but that's a separate trip, that's a separate series. So yeah guys, hope you did enjoy it. Like I say, if you are wanting to join along with the trip, that is fine. Subscribe to the channel. Because I don't post very regular, make sure to turn on the post notifications so you do know when I do upload, because I don't want you to miss a part out of this. But yeah, it's going to be a good summer on the bike. Hopefully if the weather manages to pick itself back up again, we'll have a great one. But yeah guys, make sure you ride safe, have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching, and this has been JBL Motor Vlogs, and I'm out.